Hi, I hope you're having as much fun as I am, and we're just about done tonight having all that fun. And it says, hey, you can simplify the equation first by using the distributive property. So yet again, another way we need to simplify an equation. And I'm going to tell you, if you see an equation with parentheses in it, you're going to want to most likely get rid of those parentheses first. Okay, now these aren't going to work out very nicely. We're not playing nicely today. So don't get all upset and confused and worried. It's all done the same way, even when the answer looks kind of silly and strange. You just follow what you know, and you got to be confident. Remember, our principles of intelligence means we have to be confident. So the distributive property, we learned about that way a long time ago. I've got this negative 12 times the quantity A minus 2 is equal to negative 50. So I'm going to take my negative 12 and I'm going to distribute it. I'm going to distribute it across both the A and the negative 2, because remember that 2 is negative. So negative 12 times A is negative 12A. And negative 12 times the negative 2 is 24, and that's positive. And now that equals negative 50. Knowing that we're multiplying by a negative 12, we're adding 24. The opposite is subtract 24, divide by negative 12. So we're just going to subtract 24 from both sides. Negative 12A is equal to negative 74. Dividing by a negative 12. You know your facts. You know that goes in 6 times. So that's 6 and leaves 2/12. So my final answer, A, is equal to 6 and 1/6. Why is it positive? We got these two negatives right here. Negative divided by negative gives me a positive answer. Excellent. Let's move on to another one where we have to simplify using the distributive property. And so we're going to distribute 2 across the k, give me 2k. And the negative 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 4. We're going to add 2 to both sides first, combining those terms this time. And saying that they're on opposite sides, by the way, so that's why I added. I did the opposite of subtracting. So 2k is now equal to negative 2. Dividing by 2, k equals a negative 1. Wow. I don't know what to say, except we're getting right through this. And maybe there's going to be some times that you get an equation where you have to do multiple simplifications. You might have to distribute and you might have to get rid of, you might have to distribute and combine like terms. So again, we always want to start with the distributive property. So we're going to look at this 8 plus 2 times the quantity 2x minus 3 plus 2x is equal to negative 26. And we're going to start right here by saying that 2 times 2x, we have 8 plus 2 times 2x is 4x. And then 2 times a negative 3 is negative 6. We're going to bring down the 2x that's there, and we're still equal to negative 26. So we got rid of the parentheses, but we can still simplify this equation. In fact, we have this constant and this constant here. So 8 and negative 6 is 2. And then we have the positive 4x and the positive 2x. That gives us 6x, and that equals negative 26. We continue to simplify by saying, hey, this 2 and that negative 26 are like terms. They're on opposite sides, so I'm going to subtract this 2. And I'm going to say 6x is equal to negative 28. When I divide by 6 to isolate and keep balanced, I have x is equal to, well, that goes in 4. It's negative 4, by the way. It goes in negative 4, and, of course, there is going to be 4 left over. So that's 4/6. So our final answer is x is equal to negative 4 and 2/3. Straightforward. I know you guys got this. Be calm. Math on. Here we go. Our real life application tonight says you scored 88 points, 92 points, 87 points on 3 tests. Write and solve. That's 2 things we have to do. Write and solve an equation to find the score you need on the 4th test, so that you have a means test score of 90. Oh, wow. So if you remember what mean is, that's like average. How do we get average? We add them all up, and we divide by the number, right? We add them all up and divide them by the number of tests. So we can write this equation. It's going to be pretty straightforward. We have 3 tests that we know the scores for. 88 plus 92 plus 87. We need to add a 4th test so that when we divide by the number of tests, which is 4, we have a mean score of 90. We want to have an overall 90 average. So now we have a couple things we need to do. One, I see a fraction, so I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by 4. All right? And when I do that, this 4 and that 4 simplifies out. I can combine all these like terms. Now, it sounds like I'm kind of going out of a wacky order, but remember, I can combine all those like terms. When I combine all those like terms, I get 267 plus x. The 90 times the 4 on this side is 360. Now I subtract the 267, and I find that I have to have a test score of 93. I got to have a 93 on my next test if I want a mean average of 90. So here's the final answer. Ladies and gentlemen, it is always a pleasure working with you. I know that was quick. Make sure you come into class with questions. After you finish this last quick write, part D, for quick write 3, write it down, -4 times the quantity 3g minus 5, adding 10 more g's, and it's all equal to 19. Write down questions, come to class with questions regarding what we've talked about tonight, mostly review, but questions are still great, okay? Make sure you put a question mark or you put a highlight or whatever it takes to do. When you have extra time, begin working on your assignment. Remember, 45 quality minutes of effort. Be accountable. You guys have been so awesome so far. Keep it up. Using a little bit of aggressiveness, a little bit of urgency, using your time effectively. We are done with videos tonight. I will see you.